Top Cut. We are getting underway for quarterfinals here at Gym Challenge number 9 at Psycho Turtle Collectibles in Pico Rivera. I'm Dennis Geisler. With me is Arnie Wolf. We have Grant Weldon and Brian Collins here in the quarterfinal round. I'm very interested in both of these teams here.
Absolutely.
Grant we saw earlier today. Brian we haven't seen yet, but is running that Psy Spam. Grant with Tornadus Incarnate, Regidrago, Rillaboom, Urshifu, Single Strike, Furdraff, and Heatran. Brian with Indeedee Female, Armarouge, Ursaluna, the base form, Urshifu Single Strike as well, Iron Bundle, and Flutter Mane.
And you know, looking at this, it's a bit of an interesting call here because one team's very heavily Trick Room oriented. That's Brian's. Grant a bit faster with that Tornadus, but I wouldn't count it out. Heatran is a nice counter to Psy Spam just because you are immune to the Heat Wave and then you resist the Expanding Force. Gotta watch out for what I think the star of Brian's team is right now. That Ursaluna just does a lot of damage, though it does have to watch out for Urshifu because it could. There's some mind games with that Terra, so I think if you're Brian, you're thinking, all right, I gotta save my Ursaluna Terra right away, and of course Rillaboom could hit it as well. But I think right now, if you're Grant, you know the 4 you're bringing in, and it's not Tornadus and Regidrago, it's everything else.
Yeah. What I'm intrigued about in Brian's team is that 3 Pokemon on this team are very fast. Bundle Speed, Flutter Mane, which is Specs but is max speed, and Urshifu, which is Scarfed. And we will see a very fast lead here. It's Bundle and Urshifu up against the Furdraff and the Heatran.
That's actually interesting. Kind of fooling out.
I really like that, yeah, because it baits out the imprisoned Furdraff early. You can try to deal with that as quickly as possible. A Wicked Blow should be able to do a lot of damage to it. I don't know how safe that is just to launch it, but...
Could just go for that Terra Fairy right away on either of the 2 Pokemon. One's threatened by Hydro Pump, one's threatened by Wicked Blow. I do think switching the Urshifu in place of that Furdraff is gonna be the safest bet here.
Yeah.
Especially because the other Urshifu is Choice Scarf as well. So if you Terra Fairy and it locks onto Wicked Blow, not good because it's not gonna be able to hit either of your 2, or Grant's 2, super effectively, and both of them were going to resist it. So I think also keeping the Heatran in is really solid because a Heat Wave Flash Cannon, one of those 2 is going to be able to pick up a hefty amount of damage onto the Iron Bundle.
Will be Furdraff sliding out, or Shifu on the other end coming in. We see the Terra here. I believe that is Grant's Heatran.
And there it is.
Indeed it is.
Yeah, Terra Fairy is very nice.
It does not have Terra Blast. It is the Heat Wave Flash Cannon Earth Power variant with the Protect, obviously.
But it is Life Orb, and that might do some solid damage.
Ooh, Hydro Pump misses. It was aimed at the Urshifu, actually, and it will be Wicked Blow. So it's supposed to be 2 hits into the Furdraff. Instead, not very much damage into that Urshifu, and the Heatran Heat Wave. Wow.
Oh, that just shows the power.
The bundle.
Yeah, that's the power of Life Orb Heatran, getting rid of that Iron Bundle and crippling that opposing Single Strike Urshifu to a position where really Wicked Blow will be able to pick up that knockout. Gotta watch out now for this Flutter Mane. It is going to put a lot of pressure. However, this Flutter Mane is Choice Specs, which means because you're Scarf, your Urshifu definitely is able to outspeed it and go for a Wicked Blow right away. Kind of forces that Flutter Mane to tear out a Fairy if it wants to survive this. Or you could just go for the Iron Head attempt and try and get rid of it. Whether that KOs or not entirely sure, but it's on there for a reason.
Yeah, this is, Brian's very much on the back foot here. Heatran's still threatening back there. I mean, it will get a Heat Wave off this turn.
Yeah.
Or a Flash Cannon if it wants to go especially hard onto the Flutter Mane. But either way, it will get a strong hit off this turn. And
the question now becomes, what is that last Pokemon in the back? I'm assuming it's going to be Indeedee. So a close combat would not even be a bad option, but we are going to see that Iron Head. And we're going to find out what this final Pokemon on Brian's side is. And it is the Indeedee. So
the Indeedee.
No Sucker Punches, but I don't think that was going to be something we'd see anyways. I think we just see the Iron Head lock on. So the question now becomes, how much does Iron Head do onto this Terra Fairy Flutter Mane?
Indeed, it is the Terra Fairy coming out. Makes sense. Want to make sure it does not get hit too hard by the Urshifu. And do as much damage as possible. If you're winning this game, it's through the Flutter Mane. It is Iron.
It's enough for a 1-hit.
It is. Ring the bell. 1-hit knockout from the Iron Head. I think Grant has game 1 locked up pretty
yeah,
well
you're pretty
right
safe
now.
here. Earth Power going to do a solid amount onto the NDD, just under half, and at this point you can partner it with a Heat Wave to just get rid of this NDD. And I do think there is a shot Brian could pull kind of a surprise here.
I don't know what I don't know how Brian can do enough damage to this Urshifu.
You have to
let
lock
alone
on
the Heat Ran. Like, I don't think you can do damage to both of them.
No, you gotta lock on to either Wicked Blow or Iron Head, and you're gonna be resistant.
We saw
on
Wicked Blow do nothing.
That doesn't matter.
Iron Head will knock down anyways.
One thing to note here, this is a speed tie. So
it is a speed tie, you're correct.
It was just luck that Grant was able to move first. Didn't really matter, but it may have prolonged the loss to one turn, but Grant takes game one here. I think
cleanly.
Yeah, that was as best as you can do it.
Well, and I guess that's the other thing is Brian didn't get to see Grant's fourth Pokemon, regardless. Could have guessed, obviously, but didn't get to see that. Although I still don't know. That was just a really clean game, number one.
Yeah, this team looks like it's built for Psy Spam in a way, because you have Urshifu Dark. And with Urshifu Dark in play, it allows you to just go full offense, keeping Rillaboom in the back for getting rid of that Psychic Terrain. And it's tough, because I do think that Psy Spam is a relatively good call. But what I would do, I think, is kind of lead NDD and Armarouge if I was Brian, but then predict which one they're going to go for and switch that to Ursaluna while the other sets up the Trick Room. Because I think if you could get Ursaluna going, that's your key.
The problem is that if Grant sees that, I just click Imprison, and now Trick Room can't get up. I think you have to get aggressive with it, and that's the problem. Is that I think Brian tried to get aggressive turn one. And obviously that was the fast team. All three of the fast Pokemon came for Brian as well as Indeedee.
Yeah.
I think you might want to go for a more slow-paced team, but still maybe lead the Urshifu.
Yeah.
To try to, I don't know.
But even then, it could just
Furgiraf just leaves.
Yeah.
Furgiraf just hits the bricks. Maybe, I don't know, like Urshifu Indeedee?
Here's an option.
Go for Iron Head onto Furgiraf?
I think you lead Flutter Mane and you go for a Terrestrial on your Flutter Mane turn one, Moonblast onto the Farigiraf, because if the calc, this is something I specifically calced for with Flutter Mane, where if you go max special attack or just under max special attack, like around 244, 236, your Moonblast will one-shot Farigiraf, and you can just go for that right away. Boom, gets out of play, and now you're free to set up a trigger with Indeedee. And I think that might be the call. If you want to just ensure that you get rid of Farigiraf, you could double Dazzling Gleam, start with Flutter Mane Indeedee. You're probably going to lose. But the thing is, if Grant goes for Urshifu plus Farigiraf, that's going to be tough because it's faster, so it's going to be able to just get rid of one of those two. But Iron Bundle's a really nice call here because it does have Icy Wind. That's going to be very nice. It will have to obviously have to deal with Heatran here because he got the Heat Wave, but I think if you go with this combo and then go for maybe Indeedee Ursaluna in the back, that might be what you need to do.
It is a Bundle and Flutter this time against Heatran and Farigiraf. I mean, I think that problem is speed control isn't necessarily the issue for Brian right now. Brian is faster, just straight up guaranteed with these Pokemon as they are right now. That's actually an option for Grant is to do Trick Room of his own and flip the tables on Brian's fast Pokemon, because as I mentioned, these are very fast Pokemon. This is Flutter Mane, Booster Energy, Speed Iron Bundle, and Choice Scarf for Shifu. Like, if you're able to turn the tables on that, then suddenly they're the ones who are losing because they're too fast.
And there's that early Flutter Mane Terra, which is, like I said, if you calc this right, should be able to pick up an icon for a Giraffe. Now it doesn't have to worry about Urshifu either, especially because it is Terra Dark, so that's kind of nice to know you got that. The Iron Bundle going for the Protect, I think that's the right call, because you really don't have to worry about Heatran right now. And the Protect on Heatran is also fine, because you're kind of targeting for a draft. I would have Flash Cannon, because I think the play here is to just see how much this does on the first draft.
Here's the question.
It's not enough.
2 HP remaining, and the Trick Room gets up.
Yeah, I was looking at the stat spread here on paper, and I'm like,
I
think this
is incredibly close. That certainly could have been a roll.
Oh, yeah. And am looking at it, it looks like this Flutter on paper is max speed.
It is max
And
speed with short
that
specs.
is a roll. That's where it's a roll, you know. If you go max special attack modest, then that's the play in terms of getting rid of it. But it was a play worth playing, although I think Iron Bundle could have gone for an Icy Wind or Freeze Dry just to ensure that knockout. But
I mean, that's the concern though, is what if he got Flash Cannoned, or what if he got Heat Waved, which is what destroyed Iron Bundle in the first turn of the last battle, and now Heat Wave is going to come out again.
Yeah,
Fluttermane has to dodge out of this one.
If you have Armor Rouge in the back, now's the time to bring it out. But it's NDD.
It's going to be in DD.
Gotta
imagine Urshifu is the last one back.
Yeah. Although if it's Ursaluna, that would be a nice switch in there for Brian.
Dazzling Gleam.
I assume it's not, because
Nice
we would have
little
seen
chunk.
it.
And Heat Wave is absolutely going to do some damage. Iron Bundle is gone. Indeedee already taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, Indeedee taking that much already is not good, because your goal with your Indeedee is to ensure that your the Trick Room goes away. And with those Heat Waves looming, plus it took like 70%. You're banking on a Heat Wave miss. That's basically it, because and I wouldn't even be surprised if Fridraft goes in prison right now just to ensure that the Indeedee doesn't set the Trick Room back up, and then you click Heat Wave to get rid of these two, or Flash Cannon to get rid of Fluttermane and Imprison, because then Indeedee is kind of screwed.
And Imprison isn't bad to block the Dazzling Gleam as well. It's not that important, but it could be nice.
Yeah. The double Heat Wave is also fine. I just think Imprison's a solid choice here. I mean, you could double up.
I mean, there's no bad answer for Grant right now. Either you hit things really hard and you probably pick up 2 knockouts. Fluttermane's going to swap out once again.
I'm guessing this is going to be Urshifu, yeah.
And it is the Urshifu as the last Pokemon. Same 4 Pokemon again for Brian, the speedy team, and it got the tables turned on it. This is a slow Indeedee, which is able to pick up the 2 HP critical hit onto Fridraft.
And Heatran goes for that Heat Wave. It is enough to pick up the knockout on Indeedee. Would have been nice if you were Brian, like, oh, I hope I could have seen that miss, but no. Unfortunately now, the good news with Grant sending this Rillaboom in, you could Sucker Punch! Woohoo! Actually, no, you can't. You don't have Sucker Punch.
And it's under Psychic Terrain.
Oh, the Grassy Surge.
Oh, the Grassy Surge comes out, yeah.
But actually, it doesn't matter because Brian doesn't have Sucker Punch, so that's going to basically... You click Grassy God on the Urshifu, you click Flash Cannon on the Fluttermane, and you say good game to Brian.
Yeah.
If you're Grant.
Or you fake out.
Yeah,
and Brian's going to cancel that one. Grant Weldon, a dominant 2-0 victory. He'll be heading to semifinals.
That was a really fun showcase of this team, because we saw earlier how it could work in a very fast mode with Tornadus and Regidraco. Now we just saw how it could work against Trick Room teams of Fridraft and Heatran. That combo, I'm just saying, for Heatran and Fridraft is such a good combo against Psy Spam right now, because you're not only able to imprison it, but Heatran just takes hits from everything besides Ursaluna. But at that point, you can play with your Terra and send Rillaboom in and just kind of mess with Ursaluna, because Fridraft and Heatran can take care of those 2 setters really nicely.
Well, and that's the power of that Imprison Trick Room Fridraft, is that if the other team is just exceptionally fast, you can Trick Room yourself say, haha, you're slower now.
Yeah.
Have fun. You survive 5 turns in Trick Room.
5 turns. I love that name. But it's also interesting. I think we've kind of focused a lot on speed control in so many different ways, but one thing we haven't seen until right now in this generation is hybrid speed and Tailwind Trick Room. I mean, we saw it a bit in Regulation A, but usually in the past 3 regulations, you either commit to Trick Room, or you commit to Tailwind, or commit to Icy Wind. So you really don't have a mix of options, and that's something that I think, as we just saw between the 2 matches that Grant has played today on stream, is very useful and makes it very hard for your opponent to pick which one to start off at, and if they lead with the wrong 2 Pokemon, you're able to just get speed control and start sweeping.
With that, we will take a quick break. On the other side, semifinals here. You don't want to miss it. Don't go anywhere.